Murder at Castle Nathria card review part 2. I'm Uncorrupt, and we're going to be going over the cards that have been revealed since my last card review video for the upcoming Hearthstone expansion, Murder at Castle Nathria. We're going to start off here with Rogue, and one correction from my last video. I actually thought that the Door of Shadows was the Rogue location, and I was way off. But I mean, seriously, like Door of Shadows, I mean, it is a location, it looks like a location, but this is actually just a spell. So I was a little bit off on my analysis of this card. So it is a 1 mana draw a spell, infuse to add a temporary copy to your hand. I think it's a good spell. It's going to see play nice and cheap, and being able to get extra copies of spells that are good enough to go in our deck is going to be pretty strong. So minor correction there. The actual Rogue location has been revealed now. Sinstone Graveyard. Summon a 1/1 Stealth Ghost. Has +1/+1 for each other card you played this turn. So I actually felt like this card is insane. I think it's the best revealed card so far. It's the best location revealed so far. And what you're looking at right now is popping up on the screen. My initial reaction to this card being revealed was that I think this card is going to be nerfed at some point. It may not be in the Murder at Castle Nathria expansion. It could be an expansion or two down the road. It could be in a mini set down the road. But I think at some point in Standard, Sinstone Graveyard is going to get nerfed. And the reason why is because it's just so strong. In the past, you know, Rogue gets a lot of cheap cards. They're able to play lots of cards in a single turn. You think back to the Garrote Rogue days. You were playing 10, 11 cards in a turn. And now you can do that and put a, you know, say 10/10 minion in stealth that your opponent actually can't interact with most of the cards that are in Standard right now. So I think this is very strong, and it is going to see a nerf. I mean, I would drop this into, say, like Boat Rogue right now in the existing meta, and it would be good even in a deck that's not built around it. I think you can actually build a deck around this, have a huge minion in stealth, and then drop, say, like a Battleground Battlemaster. So really, really strong. I think this card is going to be great. Assuming Rogue gets access to cheap, efficient card draw, something along the lines of a Secret Passage, Sinstone Graveyard, it's just going to be a really, really strong and good card. So definitely looking forward to that, and still thinking that it's probably going to need an adjustment, to be honest. We did have a neutral legendary revealed, Sired to Nathrius, 10 mana, 10/10, Lifesteal, Battlecry, deal 5 amongst all enemies. Endlessly infuse 1, deal 1 more. So pretty much this is in your hand. A minion dies, and it's going to deal 6 damage. I believe this is supposed to function along the lines of like arcane missiles. It's going to deal 1 damage at a time, and you can increase it endlessly as long as you have minions that are going to die. So I imagine that the animation for this, I haven't actually seen it for myself. I don't even know if the animation's been revealed, but I feel like it's going to look like Cthulhu when you played the Cthulhu Legendary and it was active and it shot out 30 damage. Similar to that. Again, with this card, as I mentioned in the first card review, as I mentioned with the Mage Legendary, the mana cost is just too high, which is going to limit when and where it's going to be able to see play. So typically in Hearthstone, once you get up to 8 mana, cards just don't see play. They have to be incredibly powerful to see play. So you think about today's meta, 8 mana cards that see play, you see Brucon, and maybe not a whole lot else outside of Druid, because it's just too expensive. I do think there's a couple of other maybe 8 cost cards that are being played that are slipping my mind at the moment, but you can see my point. It's just too expensive for the normal class to be able to play. The only exception here is going to be in Druid decks. Number one, because of Guff, Druid can potentially ramp up to as much as 20 mana, which means you can play this and do other stuff. And then also with Alignment Druid, you know, you can align, and now this is a 1-cost card, which is going to also make that playable for Druid decks. It's probably going to be really, really good in Druid. There's a lot of synergy with Scale of Onyxia. You can potentially create extra Scale of Onyxia with something like a Moonlit Guidance. So likely to see play in Alignment Druid, unless there's just some type of counter to Alignment Druid that's introduced in the set. Outside of that, I really don't think anything is going to be playing this. It's just too expensive. How often do Hearthstone games really even go to turn 10 to be able to play something like this? And then, even if you have 10 mana to play on this, it has to have been in your hand for a large portion of the game to be able to infuse to get it to a meaningful amount of damage. You know, 5 damage just isn't that much. So you need to get it in your hand early, but then you have a dead card in your hand early. So likely not going to see a lot of play outside of Druid unless there's other cards introduced that can really support this for the other classes. Scrolling on down to Paladin here, Paladin has actually had several cards revealed since my last card review, including the Paladin location, Great Hall, 2 mana, 3 charges, set a minion's attack and health to 3. Again, for me, like locations in general, I think all locations are going to be playable unless they're just really, really bad. Because it's kind of like, for me, investing mana in a future turn. You know, if you can get this down on turn 2, you now have an effect that you can play for free in the future turn. So, you know, you could do this on your own minion, maybe take one of your 1/1 hero power units, turn it into a 3/3 for only 2 mana. So in that case, it would kind of function like a 2 mana, give a minion 2/2, which isn't great, isn't terrible. And then you can also use it to just affect your opponent's threats. If they have a big taunt that you need to remove, you set its attack and health to 3, makes it easier to trade for. And if they have, you know, just a big threatening minion on the board, then again, you just set its attack and health to 3, and it's no longer a big threatening minion. So likely to see play probably several different decks that this could go into. Could go in control, could go into like a mid-range paladin, or even an aggro paladin, depending on, you know, the rest of the cards in the set. So I think it's okay. I think it's going to be playable. It could actually end up being maybe even really good. The other 3 cards that have been revealed for Paladin most recently actually are kind of like a Silverhand Recruit package. So we're going to start with the cheapest mana card here. Sinful Sous Chef, Death Rattle, add 2 Silverhand Recruits to your hand. So this, to me, is almost like an unnerfed or slightly nerfed version of the Paladin 1-drop. I think it was Go to School something. I can't remember the name of the card. You'll have to forgive me for that. But putting a 2/1 on board and then getting 2 1-mana 1/1s in hand just helps you in the early game. You'll be able to develop the board on turn 1 and turn 2 to fight for early things. Stewart the Steward, 3 mana 3/3, Death Rattle, give the next Silverhand Recruit you summon +3/+3 and this Death Rattle. I think this is just a really good individual card. You know, you wouldn't necessarily have to include this in a deck that was trying to run an entire Silverhand Recruit package. It's just a solid card. You know, you play it on turn 3, and then for as long as your opponent can't remove it, you're going to be able to summon 3/3 Silverhand Recruits for only 2 mana. So typically for me, the Paladin hero power, summon a 2 mana to summon a 1/1, is one of the weakest hero powers in the game. Hero powers in general are just weak in Hearthstone, as they're intended to be. But this makes it significantly better, and it makes it so that you don't feel bad spending 2 mana on your hero power if it's going to actually be a 3/3 Silverhand Recruit. So this definitely sees play. I think the card is fine. It is going to be vulnerable to silence, but typically people don't play a lot of tech cards in Hearthstone. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of silences. Only exception to that would be if Renathal 40-card decks became significantly better. Then all of a sudden you have 10 more card slots to potentially run tech cards like Silence, like Weapon Destruction. But I think this is a good card. It's going to fit in well with any kind of Silverhand package we're able to make, and it's going to be solid even in decks that don't run the Silverhand package. Buffett Bigen, 4 mana 2/4, Battlecry, summon 2 Silverhand Recruits, infuse 3, give them 2 attack and Divine Shield. So the interesting thing here is, if you play this on 3 and it dies, give the next Silverhand Recruit you summon, and this summons 2 Silverhand Recruits. So I believe if this is dead, then summoning a Silverhand Recruit with the Buffett Bigen, it's actually going to be 1 3/3 with Divine Shield, and it's going to be, it's going to be 1 4/4 with Divine Shield, and then 1 1/1 with Divine Shield. And then by the time you apply the give 2 attack, also, you're actually going to have a 6/4 and a 3/1 coming out of this, assuming this has died. So this card, again, it could be really strong. I think it's going to be an excellent card to fight for the board. If you get it down on turn 4, it's good. If you get it down later than turn 4, I think it's still going to be good. Certain classes really struggle with Divine Shield. Divine Shield minions can help set up favorable trades if need be. And, you know, the 3/1s also just being able to go face. So I feel like this card, I don't know how other people are rating it. I tend to try very hard not to look at how other people are evaluating cards in card reviews, because I feel like that would kind of, you know, spoil my own thoughts on the card. I feel like this card is going to be strong, and certainly if it works the way I'm expecting it to work with the Stewart Steward, it's just going to be insane with the Silverhand Recruits that it's going to be able to summon. So Silverhand Recruit package, Dude Paladin could be a thing. Also, the potential with being able to create these extra 1/1s and put them in your hand, there could be a possibility that the Paladin quest is going to be able to see some play here. You know, Quest Paladin, I think the most successful version I ever saw of Quest Paladin was running like 26 1-drops, and then it was running, cards that would further buff the Silver Hand recruits once you've completed the quest. I think there's potential now that we're going to see a Quest Paladin that does run the best 1-drops and being able to create additional 1-drops, but then maybe playing other things that can also make it more effective as well. Maybe have an additional win condition, and really cutting just the garbage 1-drops that we were playing only to complete the quest. Thinking specifically about things like just the really bad secrets. There aren't really any good Paladin secrets in Standard anymore, so it could be a potential package that's going to see play here. Dude Paladin. If you like it, it might be coming back. The final card that's been revealed since my last card review is actually the Hunter location. 2 mana, 3 durability, Castle Kennels. Give a minion 2 attack. If it's a beast, give it rush. This card, I think, again, just because it's a location, it's going to be playable. You drop this down whenever you have 2 extra mana. At some point, you're going to be able to give a minion 2 attack, and if it just so happens to be a beast, you're also going to give it rush. So, I mean, I could see this being played in an aggro hunter, and it could be played in a beast hunter. I think this is certainly good enough to probably warrant an inclusion in like a current Renathal deck. If it was a Renathal big beast hunter, being able to fit this in seems like it could be pretty good. Outside of that, we're just going to have to see what the rest of the set brings. If Aggro Hunter is going to be able to make a comeback, if it's going to be good enough to see played, this could be good enough, because for 2 mana, over the course of a couple of turns, you're going to be able to add 4 attack to the board, which is hopefully going to be able to go into your opponent's face, assuming you're an aggro deck. So those are the most recently revealed cards. Thank you for watching. I'm Uncorrupt. If you're enjoying the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Take a look around the channel. We got lots of stuff here. We've got gods. We've got the occasional live stream coming out now. We've got shorts and, just several other things heavily focused on Standard Hearthstone content. If Standard Hearthstone is your mode of choice, I really think you're going to look around and be able to find something that you're going to enjoy here. Looking forward to more cards from the Murder at Castle Nathria expansion being revealed. I'm going to be reviewing those as they come out. Thank you again, and good luck out on the ladder.